and we're not going to be distracted. Or I don't think they're going to be distracted. As a matter of fact, I talked to a couple of guys on the trip, and some people are even speculating that Mr. Boakai flew, and the cover on the model road to River says is fake. That is the Liberian man we have to deal with. But it's good to be back. This is State of the Nation. My name is Chris, Magdalene, and I. Too many things on the table. At 3:15, we talked to the superintendent of Bapolu County, Sam Kamara Zina. He's going to be telling us the latest after all of those hauling and pulling about the Diamond, Gold Rich, Timber Rich County. But little is yet to be impacted to the people. Let's see where Sam is taking it from, along with his legislative caucus and the people themselves. We also have with us at 4 o'clock this afternoon the acting Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Anthony Myers. Anthony Myers will take questions from us from 4 to 5 from here, and we are online and on air. On air, Truth FM 96.1 is the frequency, and on air, on air is Real TV on the screen here. But there we are. We'll come back. Let me just say something. As Magdalene was saying, it started Friday evening. We were at the Destiny Center on the Capitol Bypass for a night of wakekeeping for the fallen Trojan Kiazulu. And on Saturday, almost the entire media community was at the 12th Latter-day Church of Latter-day Saints, where the funeral services were held. Man, this was a show of support and solidarity to the bereaved family by the media community. And by the time we left, the news broke. A media colleague of ours, Agatha Duana Fayambo, lost her husband. Amen. Lost her husband. You know, the last time I saw Agatha was one of those who attended the Project Writing Summit. In fact, the honored lady who was carrying baby at the time. After giving birth.
Yeah. Also, Agatha.
Yes, Agatha.
The pregnant lady,
yes,
right?
Agatha lost her husband.
Yeah. Agatha.
And it's heartbroken. We like to use this platform to say Agatha Fayambo, Agatha Duana Fayambo. We say sorry, our sympathy, our condolences to you. And like the Minister of Information, Gerald Lemekpia, said at the funeral of Project Kiazulu, he said, the media has got time to pray. I'm in the period chat room. Several of our colleagues are ill. People are raising money. So the media has gone beyond now raising money for funerals. Orita Bondo, thank you so much for your leadership role you play in collecting for funeral all and for medication of media colleagues. Thank you so much, my auntie Agatha. Thank you so much to the rest of PUL members. There is a huge division in the PUL, but that day, the division disappeared. And we all sat and discussed the future of journalists. And those of you who haven't tasted life yet, and it's so pompous, man, look at the life lived by Trojan. A huge complex sanctuary went out of seat. Most of the people attending were all media practitioners. At least a minute portion of other people, but the rest media practitioners. That is where strength lies, and that is a demonstration of the life he lived. Your life must reflect to you. And the songwriter say, if I cannot reach out to those who are alive, what do I do when I am dead?
The one I saw there, you want to...
The song says, when can I help somebody?
In my living?
Yes, in my living.
Okay.
My living is in vain.
Yeah.
That is the song that came to my mind in the church. This man lived his life.
Yeah.
Everybody turned out. Everybody turned out
Yeah.
to say goodbye. And to the widow, the young widow, I call you MP, Maureen P. Wikazulu. Take heart. I saw your post this morning, man. You can't get tired paying tribute to your late husband. I know what you go through right now. Would like to say sorry. Thanks for being strong. Your heartbreaking tribute you paid to your heart will go a long way. And to Agatha, I got a song for you. I got a song for you.
If I can help.
No, this song is titled With Hope by Stephen Curtis Chapman. We will take this musical break and dedicate this moment to Agatha as you mourn the death of your beloved husband. Let's take this musical break to be right back. So many plans we had, so many. Left us with nothing we can say, nothing we can do. Take away the pain of losing you. We can cry, we can say goodbye, 'cause we know our is not the end. We can breathe, 'cause we believe with hope. There's a place where we'll see your face again. See your face again. Never have I known anything so hard to understand. Never have I questioned more the wisdom of God's plan. Through the cloud of tears, I see the Father smile and say, well done. And I imagine you where you wanted most to be. Seeing all your dreams come true. 'Cause now you're home and now you're free. We Can Cry with Hope, and that's the song by Stephen Curtis Chapman for Agatha. We'd like to say our condolences to you. Those of you who know Agatha, you haven't heard this news, please place a call out to her. She's in a deep heartbroken moment, and maybe your call can revive her. Yeah. This is State of the Nation. We will now take commercials. You got the cue? Yes, sir. Okay. EcoBank. EcoBank, Orange Liberia. What happened to Sophie? What we will
Folks, you can share the laugh, whatever you're watching, joining us from. This is an online television. I'm not from 105.5.
Along the executive mansion, on the grounds of the executive mansion, young people were seen present with placards. I'm told it was a matter of presenting a petition to the president to have a youth advisor in his office. Where is Othello? Okay, so as we prepare to take Othello shortly, let's have this musical break. This is the one that is trending for me right now. I'm so every time I play this music, sorry. Okay, so let's take this musical break to be right back.
I've got too many reasons to give you praise, oh God. You are good. Too many reasons to give you praise, oh God. You are good. I've got too many reasons to give you praise, oh God. You are good. You are good. Too many reasons to give you praise, oh God. You are good. You're the reason I'm alive. The very air I breathe. I pray that every time I think my everything. Too many reasons to give you praise. Oh God, you are good. You've done so much for me. What?
from the fingertips of DJ Chris Fizo. So many reasons to give glory to God.
How we celebrating? Yo. Ah. Yo. Amen. Reason. Too many.
You know, over the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
I decided not to leave my compound at all. And maybe it was God's will. And I encountered the Holy Spirit.
Wow.
And he said, light is upon you, my son.
Hey, happy.
Man, I was just walking in my hallway and I saw the bright. Said, you are favored.
Yeah.
Oh, man, please call this. Please answer this call, please. Thank you. I don't.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
this is something serious.
I mean,
Hmm?
I understand.
No, you
I
don't
have,
understand.
no, Chief, I have encountered that before, so I know what you're saying is true.
Why you don't announce your encounter when you encounter the Holy Spirit? When I announce mine, then you say you encounter the Holy Spirit too.
Chief,
And you're laughing with it.
I'm very, very happy
Say-
that.
Say you are favored among your colleagues.
Wow.
I don't know the interpretation, but
No, you don't need extra interpretation.
no, that's there. I don't even need it.
You don't need it.
I
If
mean, I don't-
you
I
are
don't need it.
favored. You are
Yes,
favored.
you're favored.
That's me. I even want if God could come down and show himself, I would be so glad because encountering the Holy Spirit is a blessing. I've experienced that. I explained it once on a platform, I think on a Friday. But quickly, what happened? I was in the church that they announced 21 days fast and prayer. I was in another country, so I attended the fast. At first, I said I couldn't make it. I didn't want to, my body to drive. I want to remain plumb and stuff like that. That kind of, something came over me, and I said no, I can't make it. But at the end of the day, I decided to take the fast. Yes, but the pastor said you can break at 6. If you have some health conditions, you can drink juice and drink water, but make sure that you are praying for you and your family. That was in 2010, 2009, 2010. And then the first day I went, the first 2 days I didn't take it. The remaining 19 days, I said I'm going to do it, but God, I need your help. So I went sorrowfully and sat down behind the lime tree, and then praying while I have already taken 2 days out of the 19 days, and then I sat over there and I prayed my little prayer and asked God for help, because to take fast for that number of days, that's not joke.
Mhm.
Yes.
Fast forward.
Fast forward, I encountered the Holy Spirit. The light came upon me while sitting over there.
Mhm.
And that peace that I experienced for a very long time. Yes, I felt so peaceful in few seconds. So peaceful. So I don't know whether you really felt peaceful when you encountered that. But I understand what you are saying is actually true, especially when you encounter that kind of experience.
Yes,
You feel so peaceful.
yeah, very
You
peaceful.
feel like, oh yes,
Very
everything.
peaceful.
You do not even want to come to yourself. Like imagine you coming in this there where so kind of temptations and struggles and everything. But I encountered that, and I've experienced that, and I understand what you are saying. I believe everything you are saying. I'm just happy. I'm just happy that you encounter it, even want for it to like happen to you almost all of the time.
So what's about you? Again, it should happen to you too.
No, but it's not bad experience. I
Yeah.
want that to happen
Thank you.
almost
Thank
all
you.
of the
Thank you.
time.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, can we you taking a superintendent now?
No, we gotta do Orlando. Orlando Blambo.
Orlando?
You wanna wear your earpiece? Wear your earpiece, please. Orlando, you people just take this executive ground to be playground now, right? Because this is a civilized government. I saw you guys demonstrating, or I don't know what, presenting a petition on the grounds of the executive mansion. How are you doing first?
I'm
How are
doing
you?
number.
Orlando Blamo, right?
Orlando
Blamo, sorry.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
What were you guys doing on the grounds of the executive mansion?
Firstly, to correct our executive mansion to be playground. We are not taking it to be playground, but when you have, like for an example, when you have parents who relate to you as a child, who open up to you, put you on track, and when something happens, you don't hide it from them. You always speak your mind to them. So that how it like the relationship with the executive mansion and the young people, and also the people of Liberia. So let's get that correct.
Well, okay. So thank you for your correction, even though I don't accept. So I'm told today is International Youth Day. Am I correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't.
So was that the reason why you guys went to the
But
place?
Orlando is not a young man.
Today is International Youth Day, celebrated all around the world. So we use that mean to call the attention of the president petitioning for a youthful advisors. That's all. We didn't go too much
In his office. That is the youth advisor.
Yes.
Just still have Benjamin Sanvi.
Yeah.
Who again?
I support that.
Madam Sellee had this lady, man.
So President William.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, I don't know.
I didn't follow because I wear too much.
For me, only Benson V.
She was first appointed as a commissioner to the National Election Commission, but she did not. She didn't attain the age of becoming a commissioner. So Madam President made her youth advisor in her office.
Okay.
Oh, what is the Cooper Magdalene's wife? Sorry. Oh.
Yeah, but I think we can go forward.
So you want all days to come back. Right.
Sure.
What do you think is going to be the role of that person in the president's office?
All right. The function of the role of the youth advisors to the president, in a short notion, is to be like a liaison officers. What happening into the young people to be fast by giving a message, calling the attention of the president to the young people apply within time. That's just all.
Okay, so who received? But the president was not there. He's in Riverside.
The president wasn't there, but before then, there was communication that made to the executive mansion that there would be a petition to the president today. So all of those process, all of those things were in process. So as definitely when we got there, a phone call was made, and they told the EPS officer that on ground that these guys, their information is already in. So what they told us to do was
on which banner?
Just young people of Liberia.
Follow me.
Huh?
Follow me.
Just young people. What name the people carry? Young people of Liberia.
Yeah, the Saah Youth Organization, the Saah Youth Organization leaders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they who received the petition?
The Minister of State sent someone out there for 5 persons. So when our colleague went in, I had another meeting to attend to regarding to the same youth program. So they went in and get a petition there.
They went in the minister's office.
Yeah,
Orlando.
No, hold on, Magdalene. This is now.
I see what you ask the question.
Why
you don't want to own the government? Why?
No, the government.
You know what all you did on the compire?
The government for everybody.
Okay. So, but
why you were coming here for interview?
Why was the police deployed? I saw them deployed with helmet and shields. You guys scared them?
No, we didn't.
I saw marching drum and a band.
Yeah, we were not afraid because the necessary thing was done before we arrived on the scene. That is, we communicated to the Justice Ministry, we communicated to the executive mansion, all the necessary things were put into place. And as soon as we get there was a phone call that was made, and they only gave us the instruction that about 5 persons should go in with the petition. That was the time I saw.
And you told them, and you saw who?
I saw you.
Don't say something. And you decided not to go in the marshal because for you almost
you're
there
always
every time,
there,
right?
No, that's
wait. You wanted a ring leader. Why didn't you go there? You told the people to go there because for you, it's a farm road for you. You always in that mansion. I've seen you many times.
The president or your parent.
Hello. Let's take it one step at a time.
I mean, come and finish with the interview here now.
All right.
I got to teach you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the gist of it.
Yeah. No. So no problem. I highly appreciate.
Was that any media coverage?
No. The executive mansion have their own media coverage there, so they told the media guys to stay aside, and they told the same thing that the president is not in office, but the rightful person that received the petition would deliver it to the president because the
So
president
when you people went in the mansion, was there any media coverage?
No.
This is bad. I mean, this is youth stuff, man. They should have allowed you people.
That is the same point when we were making, but we don't want to argue for and those. So,
yeah, because your government now. If they're going to be the partner, I mean, where you going to go?
Man, this man going to be shouting all year.
I mean, you're going to be different or blamo. On a serious note.
Hello.
I mean, you come all your friends and you say, okay, that's job. So you know.
I've been someone who follows 16 rule and law, and so if they tell me that your petition will be received, do this. What I need to do. Remain kind and follow. Okay. If they fail to do now, then the necessary thing can be done.
Thank you, Orlando.
All right. So on a serious note, Orlando, I'm in support of that. I don't know why you didn't, inform me, even though I was busy this morning. But this is something that we always talk about on this platform, that the president needs a liaison officer on the youth.
But let me ask you, how can you youth? You're 45 years. You carry yourself as youth.
You want make like United Party election?
Oh what?
Why they deny somebody of being youth secretary with person with 45 years?
No, but listen, you say youth?
Yeah.
Youth.
18 or 24.
You're above 35.
No, I don't read 35. I born June 10th, 1992.
So I want to you in Orlando.
So 92, 92 I was in Nashville. Then you'll be at the Fresco on the compare.
Intense.
Guess what? The Minister of Finance on his way here is listening, and he's very impressed about you people engagement with the Chief Executive today through the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs.
All right.
This man is very interested in youth development.
All right,
I'm talking about the Acting Minister of Finance. I'm talking about Anthony Myers.
Yeah, I pay a quarterly visit at his office, but due to some reason.
Well, no, you jump all over the place visiting people.
Hello.
Last time I saw you at LPRC.
Not visit.
3 days after you were at NPA. What's that?
Okay, hold on for me. The method we're pushing here is
you just abandon Lai office. You jump all over the place.
I don't even see him in Lai's office anymore.
I just opened Lai's office.
Wait. See you, man. I see you. Let me go to my son again. There's plenty for me to do. Yeah.
Orlando, next time you come for interview, that'd be easier.
I've got too many reasons to give you praise, oh God. You are good. Too many reasons to give you praise, oh God. You are good.
Shortly, we go to Timber Ridge, Bapaloo County. Superintendent Sam Zina is standing by. OC, the man with the biggest boutique in Henrytown. You're tuning in. Good afternoon to all of you in Bapaloo County. Patience Sepeni Kume. The lady trending. Good afternoon to you. I'm told you're on your way to the broadcast house in Pinsville. escorting your honorable minister, acting minister of finance. All the hard questions are now listed. Civil servant salary payment, budget shifting reportedly, budget execution formulation or recast. Where are we? Status of the Liberian economy. And you know, T Max told me he listened to the acting minister on ELBC this morning. I don't know how true is that. Said the man knows the jargon, man.
Mm. Okay. But anyway, his appearance is overdue. You know that, right?
It's overdue.
Yeah.
No, that is.
But in a capacity now, the position.
Yeah, the position, yeah.
Just a position change, but I mean,
Yeah.
he should have.
No, we are there. We call us speaking. We're not speaking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's now go to Bopolu City, Bopolu County. The superintendent is Sam Kezina. Sam, good afternoon to you. The case stands for Kamara. How are you? How is Bopolu today?
I'm fine, Chris. Bopolu is fine.
This is not the energetic voice I'm used to. What's going on? You are obese with work or what?
Sitting here reading some papers and everything, so yeah, okay.
Reading papers. What, local dailies or transactional papers?
A lot of papers, you know, when you sit in this kind of positions, you will receive a lot of documents, letters, requests. So a lot of papers. I just received the Ministry of Health performance-based finance document PDF. A lot of pages I have to go through and then sign to go.
Wow. You don't have clerical staff?
When they can read for me, I gotta read.
Yeah, but you can make them do it. You gotta copy. They report to you. You do a counter check and then do the necessary thing. But you overwhelm yourself with reading, man. Anyway. Maybe it's part of you.
It's part of me. I went to school in an area where you don't borrow learning. You participate in it. We used to take maybe 28, 30 pages to do in 3-4 hours. Papers.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. Okay, well, so let's look at Bapolu as a county for now. Before we go into managing its natural resources in collaboration with central government. After the nearly 7 months, what can you say now about Bapolu County? Is it being revived, or you still crossing the T's and clearing the mess that you said on this show that you inherited?
Crossing the T's is not an event. It's a process that requires time, that requires a lot of process. So we are still crossing because there are a lot of places that we have to touch. You know, Bapolu is big. Bapolu is almost in the size of one county, land space wise. So it's not just going to take 1 month, 2 months, or even 6 months to process all of these things that we inherited. We inherited a lot, and it's going to take us time to actually settle some things.
Okay, what if you were before the president, His Excellency asked you, Sam, tell me, what have you been able to achieve since you took over?
I'm sure the president been following us in Bapolu since we took over. We have done some big things here. We took over, we saw the level of illicit minings here, and the level of exploitation, the quantity of gold, diamond, iron ore, timber that was just being pulled out of here. We've made some progress. We've gone through some of the tough activities to bring some of those things down to the lowest level. As we speak, there is a case on the docket. In fact, we just came from the court opening today. The Chinese case is on the docket. That's 29 million, 18 million, a lot of millions that we've been able to identify that left in an illegal or illicit way. So we have brought those things down, all the way down. And when you go to some of those places now, they are very quiet. Activities are ceased there until the court process are adjudicated. Then if they are going back, they go back. So we've done a lot.
Okay, so let's talk about this nationwide road rehabilitation. How has Bapulu benefited, or is Bapulu benefiting? Let's hear some of those areas of intervention.
Apple benefited, yes, and it is still benefiting because they started the project and just before the rain started. So to do road construction in the rain, especially gritting the road, is kind of difficult. So they did the work on the road. They came all the way closer to Bokulu, and the rain got heavy. But the road is pretty good. We can even bring taxis here. Taxis are running here in Bokulu right now. Usually, this time of the year, you can't even think about bringing full-wheel car here unless you trust that full-wheel. But we can see taxis moving up and down here, so the road is good. We have 3 access to Bokulu right now. The Sonamaka Road is good. You use the Chinese Chico Road is good. You use the Bomi Road. They are all good. We do have some spot challenges. Some of the areas when it rain, maybe water will sit and mud will develop there. Maintenance, consistent, is going on.
Okay, so far to reach areas like Fasama, Bella Baloma, what's this former notorious Bella Yala, sorry to say. How are you managing to reach out to those people? Usually see themselves as detached or from the bullet politics of Bapulu County, Liberia, because it's difficult for local government officials to go around there to maybe meet them as a means of inclusion.
They are no longer feeling that way because right now, as we speak, cars are going to Bel we will not say it's a perfect road, Kota road where the guy can go. Beyond Bokulu is difficult. Some areas are very challenged, and there are a lot of works being done and still being planned. Plenty of work will go on. But at least at this time of the year, usually you can't even think about going on outside. But we are trying our best. A lot of things are going on. I came from there not too long ago in Belela. There are some challenge areas on the road, but it's not like before.
What's about Fatama? Going towards Fatama, beginning from Gingbai all the way to line 0 to Konesu Junction, all of those places, are they now accessible?
They are accessible. I went to Fasama the holiday with the car, and I even drove as far as Loma, my hometown.
Okay.
So those areas are accessible. They may not be as perfect as during the dry season, but they are accessible compared to a few years back when motorbikes and never used to venture around there at this time of the year.
Okay, so back here in Monrovia is widely speculated that some high-profile government officials are interfering with the administration of Bapulu in terms of managing its resources. For example, timber. We're told that the authorities granted several trucks bearing timber from Monrovia unless they show genuine documents. But there are some interferences by some caucus members. I don't know how true is that. You got any information about that? That the truck should be released?
Not to my knowledge, we backed those trucks and we requested that they submit their documents. Business registration, tax clearance, FDA clearance, all of those are required to do logging. So if you're trucking without that, we back it and we requested that you submit that before going. So if somebody interferes or somebody attempted interfering, not to my knowledge, maybe it went through some of my other colleagues, but nobody reached out to me with that, so I can't say somebody had attempted. No.
So where are those trucks right now as we speak?
They brought the papers and we let them go.
Which papers? Tax clearance? Business registration?
They left the cars here, the trucks here. went to FDA, got their permits, and came. Usually, they would take the plans, go to Bomi. There is a place there. That's where they go and pay the taxes. But we are now saying, no, you take the plan from Baburu, you're going to pay the taxes in Baburu so that it gets to central government. So with the new revenue sharing law that is coming into effect, we need to start practicing now. If you take a plan from Bomi, you pay in Bomi. You take it from Baburu, you pay in Baburu. So whatever Baburu is contributing to the national revenue, that should be known through different remittances or maybe documentation. Or you can be harvesting our logs in Baburu and you paying taxes in top number.
Sam, people say you're getting too methodical, and you live some of your lifetime in the U.S. and you're taking this place to be the U.S. too systematic, and they believe that you're stepping on toes. Are you hearing these news as well?
Those are not things that are opening my ears too. So we all want to go to the US right now. Where you're sitting behind that microphone, if I come there with a car, I say, let's go to America right now. You want to reach home? You want to go there?
Well, no, you can't tell me that.
Because of the system there.
No, I've been to the US 3 times with 1-year visa and could not even complete 3 months and return. So now everybody America free to be frank.
I would tell you he will go because he wants to go and celebrate his dollar right now.
That's Magdalene, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
But
testifying for me.
that's
Yeah, Chief.
Systems in those countries, and we enjoy those. We enjoy those systems.
Yeah.
We have the resources here. We have the ability, the capability, the opportunity to turn our places here into the same system in the US. You can live here peacefully. You have enough resources here to take care of you. But we come here with turn blind eyes to the system or the process of development. But we want to take the resources from here and go to Europe, America.
So Mr. Superintendent, I'll just maybe pulling your leg about being methodical. No, I will pull it. I'll pull it. But there are classical examples here. The police, for example, had an effective traffic control in the Douala end for 4 consecutive months. The police have abandoned, and the marketers are on the road again. So I'm talking about sustaining this kind of a policy or system. Maybe you stay hard. By the time we go 3 months, you're tired, and all the leakages are being identified.
And this is why the violators are very determined here, because you will start something, you will not sustain it. You just started, you do it 1-2 weeks, and then tired now. In other countries, they plan it properly, start and sustain it, and then you'll see the change. You know, change is something that people usually resist. Nobody wants change. You just want to get used to, or you just want to be used to doing your whole thing the same way. But change is something that should be accepted. When you go to other countries, you will see changes on a daily basis. The process of development is not just, rush. You want to do something, you got to be determined, plan it well, and execute. So when you come to Bopum now, the way trucks used to be passing here, excavators, people were hauling daily, 24 hours, they were hauling them here. We put some system here. We erected some checkpoints that when you bring your machine here, you will show us the license for the place you carry the machine. When you bring the machine from inside there, you will show us the license for the place you're coming from. Because there have been a lot of illicit activities going on in here. So when you're coming from there, you better show us where you're coming from, because maybe you are one of those that have been sucking us our gold or our diamond and other resources. So we want to know where you're coming from, whether you had a legitimate authority to work there. If you bring it inside, you're going to show us paper, or else you will not go inside, you will go back to Monrovia. So once they find out that we are serious about it, and you realize now that people are saying, you know what, look at it too technical, whatever, we're not going there.
Okay. As the vice juror to the president in Bapolu County, Mr. Superintendent, since we still under managing the resources of the county, let's look back at 2 companies operating in your county. For example, Kovoyala, in timber in the vast forest going towards Wulala and other places, Fasama, and they're supposed to build bridges after 5 years of operation, change those log bridges into concrete. By the time you took over, did you see anything new or change? If not, What are you doing to compare them to do what they signed up to?
That's why we are reading, doing a lot of readings, and no clerical staff is going to read and understand for me. I will have to read all those contracts that I have access to and then see what is in those contracts. And the enforceable ones will get on them to enforce them to make sure the community benefits. Some of them are in court right now. Like I said, we just came from the court opening. Some of the cases are on the docket. Logging companies came here, took the community forest, and they harvested a lot of logs and just left everything abandoned. Their entitlement, the community entitlement, they just did some of them the way they wanted to, and the citizens did not sit and just watch them violate the law. They went to court. So some of those cases are on the docket, and we are going to ensure that the rights of the people are observed, exercised, restored. So they do not have authority to just go, if the law say, let's do this, you go and do what you want to do. None of them have authority to authorize violation of the law, and will ensure that the laws are, implemented to the letter. So those are coming. Before you draft or sign any concession agreement, we will make sure we sit with you to review, and then at the signing, maybe we'll make sure you do PowerPoint presentation to the citizens in a mass meeting where people will ask you questions. Because these voluminous documents, some of them will bring them and put a real footnotes into different areas where you will not have the opportunity or the patience to read. You go and sign it, it becomes binding on you. So we will do a lot of readings to make sure what we are signing onto has benefit for both the investors and the citizens, the county and the country. Everything will be, watched keenly.
Okay, so another one. Let's move to another one. This one is community development. As we speak, the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment has dispatched several engineers across the country, 73 districts, to inspect or assess the possibility of constructing over 300 projects under the budget legislative support program. Are you following? You think your people stand to benefit from those? How engaged are you with them, with their caucus as well?
We are very much engaged. Our caucus is in constant consultation with us. Some of them have come here. They sat with the citizens to decide how their legislative money is going to be used. So it's not something that is done in isolation of us. So we are aware, we are following, and we are even going to help to monitor those projects. We are very much engaged.
Okay, thank you so much. And that will not even make me to ask the question, your relationship with the caucus. Now that you said you people are engaged, that means you got one front, and that one front is the interest of Bapolu County, Liberia. Am I correct?
Yes. Maybe you need to take the camera and come here and go to some of the places. Like if you were to go to Normal Datondo now, or Sway, or Marlboro, or Sasazu, or the representatives from those areas, from those electoral districts, nobody need to tell them that these things are needed. So they are aware, and this is a different, ball game now we are on. Everybody is on top of their district, and the senators are on top of things in the county. I think you saw what role the senator, the caucus play in its illicit money publicity. We all took part in it in different ways. Maybe you will not hear everybody on the radio or in the newspaper, but we have structure, we have systems set up here to monitor and enforce the rules and the laws. So the different segments of the governance here we have is being very monitored. We are very much engaged with each other, so we are working together.
Sam, thank you very much. This is your second time inviting me to Bopolu. You found the last time you said accommodation is at the expense of the county authorities. I still.
From man to God, everything will be there. From God to man, it's not change.
Thank you very much, Sam. Sam Kamara Zina is the superintendent of Timber Ridge, Bapolu County. Sam, it was good having you on State of the Nation.
Pleasure.
Okay, let's take a break.
Everything I'm alive, very every time I think about everything, too many reasons. give you praise, oh God. You are good. You've done so much for me. What could be enough? You're my present help in time of need, my everything. Too many reasons to give you praise, oh God. You are good. Oh,
I just want to wash away
Too many reasons. Oh my goodness. I encountered the omnipotent yesterday. Okay, so as we prepare to take on the Minister of Finance Development Planning, acting this, Magdalene, um, man, everyone is working. Let me tell you something before you come with this one. I got some check to be, a little cash to be paid to me for some consultancy somewhere downtown Morovia. Hey, man, the thing is like, I don't want to call the amount, but the paperwork, everywhere you go and say, hey, 6 years from now, audit. But I don't want. Look, I just wish this is how Liberians were going to look at audit to be. Man, you got to be mindful with people money. Fund. I'm seeing photos from the reporters on the field conducting assessment with the LACE, the Liberian age. Some of the pictures they're sending, roads, the death trap. They're located in a country where people can just go and withdraw 6 million in 2 days and with no documentation on how they spend it. So we got the last time somebody was doing some intervention financially, and they were asking for all the paper. I don't. And so I'm just saying, everyone is now fighting not to be caught in the cookies jar.
it's already that clear. You got to
no, but wait, no. I don't even know what come up.
You say you're in it.
So let's hear from you. The Ministry of Gender is about to undertake a massive undertaking, and we want to call on all of you to put your hands on deck because it's going to save a whole generation. Already, tomorrow is not a show for this generation of young people we have now because of narcotic substances. So the ministry, working with some civil society organizations, are now hauling the bull by the horn. Last Friday, was it Friday? Thursday, I was among a group of journalists at the Ministry of Gender to see how this is going to work. It's about removing street children. Magdalene is on top of this. What do you make of this one? And you think it's doable?
So the first thing, this project is titled "Support the Child, Save the Future." You know, God is really great. There are times God leads us as journalists who are very passionate about what we do to drive conversations. And then I did not know, something of such was in a background or in the making. When I received this, I was talking about how children are vulnerable, and at some point talk about the vulnerability of children and the disabled and the industries and they need support and stuff like that. So just within that time, then my boss asked me to go and represent him at the Ministry of Gender, where the Ministry of Gender is about to launch this project called Support the Child and Save the Future. I remember that day when I said, when I'm in a taxi going to town, you see children, but when you sit in a driver's seat where you have to pursue them, I mean to drive very carefully, then you know how vulnerable the children are in Liberia. And they now not say they are just hundreds, they are in the thousands. 360,000 and more children are in the streets. In the streets. Not only Monserrado, we have Margibi, we have Grand Bassa, we have Bone County, we have Nima, but at different percentage. So I've been following. This is something that I am passionate about because it involves people with disability. It involves women. It involves children, youth. I mean, everything that I always want to cover, everything. That's even on this platform we have the youth conversation. On this very platform, we also give the those who living with some form of disabilities, we give them the opportunity to also air their voices. And I'm friends with a lot of them. So when I heard about this, and Chief Chris said, "Oh well, she would be best suited to go and represent me at this event." When I went, they say, "Support a child, save a future." So there are classes or classification of street children. Children permanently living in the streets, that one. Street working children, that two. Those who live with their families are also on the street. Those who sleep in public places without the presence of their families, they are called, you refer to that category as children permanently living in the street. Yes. And then street working children, those who work on the streets during the day and return to their families at night. Those who live with their families on the street, they are all vulnerable. They are all vulnerable. So the government of Liberia has recognized that Liberia is a country unprecedentedly losing on the potential future of the country. And the only way to remedy the situation is to first implement an effective system for children living in the street situations. Yes, street situations. So this project um, has let's say short, medium, and long term. They have a short term goal. They have a long term and medium as well. So just to inform you that the government is very intentional about this, and they want to ensure that children, their mothers are removed. Those living with disabilities are removed from the streets. They are removed from the streets. The last time a caller called, he was very concerned. Oh, what the Ministry of Gender doing? And they just say that they're just so quiet. And I couldn't be sitting down here, sitting behind the microphones, and then somebody be saying, what the Ministry of Gender doing? I'm not saying everything over there is so is so perfect, and I mean the minister is one of the best, and it's so early, but I want to appreciate the fact that they are about to launch such a project that's going to ensure that children, thousands of children, are removed from the street. So we're going to talk this and more all of the time, and we will speak with the minister. We will speak with those from the Ministry of Gender, and I mean those who are all working to ensure that this become very fruitful. We're going to speak with them, and they will come and tell us, yes, right now this is how far the project. But just to inform you that the government, in the meantime, has committed 379,000 as a startup for the pilot phase. That's 1 year. And 50 social workers have been recruited and trained in the following: community entry, identification and documentation, child protection, best practices, referral counseling, and food case management package involving street children. So we're going to have people from the Ministry of Gender. I should have placed a call to Alice Divine. But we're going to, this is something that I have made in the absence of my boss. I've, you know, it's just something that I'm so much glued to it. I'm so much into it. And I told the minister, I said, Mom, you say you can follow me, right? So you already know that this is something that I'm passionate about, and I'm going to ensure me as Magdalene, as a person who was in a classroom, a teacher. That's where I started from, a teacher, teaching kids, molding their minds to become great citizens, and to contribute to our society. And you see some of them. The last time, one of the kids that I taught, who is taller than me right now, he's taking in drugs. They say, oh, he can be at the high call the place. I told him, say, man, anytime I want front car, anytime you see me, he'll be, please give me money, please give me money, the man, please give me money, and let me front car you, or let me wash up your car, or let me do this. I told him, do not ask me for money. So that day I got down, I went to ask him. I said, where are you living? Asking a few questions. And he couldn't get, even a boy that I used to hug, used to talk to, look in his eyes and tell him you can make it, because he was one of the very slow students. That child now is taking in drugs. And it pains my heart. That I got the recording right here. I opened my recorder when I got closer to him, and that's how a friend said, "Boy is taking in this or that man is taking in drugs, and he goes to Zimbabwe and don't get him money, and and stuff like that." But well, this is why the Ministry of Gender has embarked on this journey, save if how you call it, to ensure that they support a child and save the future. That's something that should be it should be supported by everyone, every well-meaning Liberian. This is now about the international community come in. They will come in, of course, but we should be able to own this project, because your children interact with these children who are vulnerable, and some of them are taking in drugs, and oh my God, if you know what is going on, you're going to own this project. You're going to say, this is something that I am going to ensure, I am going to be looking out, I am going to support, right? I am going to make sure that we identify street children. If I can give my $1 so they can be removed from the streets, I would do it. I would do it, and I'm not going to wrestle. You already know me. When I get beyond something, I must see that there should be some level of success. I don't like to just join the team, and at the end of the day, yeah, say that one way you can talk it for. So sometimes the thing you can forget, but I can go by, pick it up, and then I come so we can talk about it. But this thing, you find out that this project support a child safe future. You are going to be doing it for you. It's going to benefit you. You know it's going to benefit you, because those of you from the rich family, I salute you and I respect that, right? Your children leave the fence and they come outside and they interact with these children. Because when the children are vulnerable, I mean, no training, the way they talk, they insult anybody, they beg for money. And this one time we were in Nima, when what you eating at the place there to the border, and then what coming outside? This little boy, he's just like 2 years asking for money. I mean, that's something that should claim the attention of, and Madam Beatrice here said, the journalist from Bushwa Radio, she said, you asking for money? Don't ask for money again. And she was so, like concerned why this child would be asking for money. So your children interact with these children that they are getting behavior that from the street. the way they talk, the way they respond to people, right? So we will stop here for now. We have a lot to discuss about this, and I have Alice Divankane. I say please inform the minister. She has an appearance on State of the Nation, and working along with my boss. I mean, he instructs me. he
Do
sent
you
me.
have to make that clarification?
He sent me no because I'm telling you to come over. I mean, so the minister will be here maybe this week or next week or Alice Divankane or any
Just
one of
send,
them.
just send
Yeah.
me an invite.
No, I've already told them.
Okay.
Yes, I've already told them to be here. So thank you so kindly, and thanks for supporting this project as well. And it will be coming to you. Will be coming to you, so you can support. Yes, this project.
Okay, thank you very much. Time is fast spent. Now we are in the last segment of our presentation for today. We're 7 minutes or 8 minutes into the presentation. The acting minister of finance and development planning, the Honorable Anthony Miles, is here. I don't know how many of you, but I don't know whether he knows that he used to write for the New Democrat newspaper. Am I correct, Chief?
Yes, I did for almost 3 years.
Do you know that I know?
Well, you are a journalist, so obviously you
Let me
should
tell you how
know.
I could know. This day, there was some media transgression, and it was the topical point under the political palaver hut on the UL campus. I was then a sophomore student, and you made some intervention in the hall. And somebody said, well, you know, now many times, what you know about media business? So you made a clarification. You say, I'm speaking from authoritative background. I've written for the New Democrat newspaper for 3 consecutive years. That's how I got to know. And this,
Wow.
I'm telling you something, this is almost, what, 18, 19, 20 years ago.
Oh, more than 20 years because
I mean, the time is...
I left UA in 2003, so that's more than 20 years.
Yes. Okay. So you see, so I need to register that a former journalist as well. Mr. Acting Minister, good afternoon. Welcome to State of the Nation.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the invite, and good afternoon to Liberia and Liberians at home and abroad.
You know, every time you come here, I know your mind runs to your days at Johnny Vocal with Ability, right? You guys were schoolmates.
Ability is a younger brother of mine and a fellow townsman of Saglipet City. We always appreciate each other. Even now that we are on different sides of the government, we coordinate information both at the national level, but most especially with respect to the development of our community, Saglipet City.
Thank you very much. So let's start from where we usually start. What is the state of affairs of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning? What, before we even get into the core topics, I know the building stands there on Broad and Magdalene streets. Very huge building. All you see from the outer side is multiple air conditioners on offices and a very narrow parking space. All of your staffers have taken this parking space that we're supposed to use on the other side of Broad Street. But let's look inside the building itself. What do you have now as a Ministry of Finance and Development Planning?
Well, just to give a bit of highlight on the parking space issue, there are properties around the building which for almost 20 years, the ministry have been trying to convince owners to acquire just to address the issue of parking, not only for our clients and visitors, but also for even our own staff. Even for senior management, the parking space is narrow. But with respect to what the ministry is, I've always in recent time described the current state of affairs as a transition stage because we came and took over in early February, as you can recall, and we met a whole lot of challenges and also some opportunities. So while we are trying to chart our own course going forward, like for example, working on the new national development plan, or trying to restructure the financial management processes, we also have to contend with the issues that we inherited, which some are good and some are not so good. So that is all part of the management of the economy and management of the public finance challenges that we are dealing with. And to the extent that you don't hear any major scandal, you haven't heard any major issues emanating from there, it means we are trying our best to ensure that things are kept in perspective and under
So
some form of control.
can we deduce that the fact that we're not hearing major scandals or money illegally being placed into accounts uh, where some of those things that you inherited, I'm talking about from the past government?
Well, you and I have been here, you have been in the media, in fact,
No, don't put me there, Chief.
no, because I'm saying this because you
Mhm.
guys follow public
Yeah, I know.
events
Yeah.
much more than the
Mhm.
rest of us if you are not in government. So you know what all used to happen and all of the issues. And given the form of transparency that characterizes our processes, where, for example, vouchers for ministries and agencies are no longer prepared in the Ministry of Finance, but they are prepared outside, so that if I, as a minister, for example, am encouraging some untoward practices, definitely a controller sitting somewhere whom I don't know or who doesn't know me or who doesn't like me personally or is not happy with what I'm doing will obviously bring this to the attention of the public, either through a leak via media institutions or whatever. So to the extent that you're not hearing all of these things, it means that we are intending and we intend to put things right and give Liberia a new pace. Because remember, all of the economic interventions that people need to make, whether it is people within the country, citizens and businesses, or external parties, they look at the Ministry of Finance as their entry point. If not directly through negotiating with us for budget support or loans, either through the way we manage the economy, through the policies that we take, especially the financial management policies that we adopt. So people look at us as more like the weather balloon, whether the country is moving in the direction of proper management or we intend to stay where we are. I think from all indications, in terms of engagement with people within and outside the country, the indication is that we are pointing the country in the direction that the president has mandated us to go.
So, as Minister of Finance, I know what it means to try to shift from bad to good, especially economic management. Um, I was just asking the superintendent of Bapalo County about it. He seems very methodical, trying to be systematic. And then that is even rendering him to bad public relation in the county and out of the county, especially those who are used to the spoil system. And you want to effectuate similar effectiveness at the Ministry of Finance. You stepping on toes, Chief. Are you aware of that?
Yes, somebody may not come to you and say, "Hey, my man, you have stepped on my toes," but from their reaction and from
Yes.
the way they try to push things on you, you can know that you are stepping on toes. And I told one very senior official of government, I will not state the branch or whatever, that we are used to, especially in recent times, when a request from a given spending institution comes to the ministry, usually checks are already issued or withdrawals are made from the bank while the documentary processes are going on within finance. And this is what happens. The Ministry of Finance receives volumes of requests on a daily basis. So if you don't follow the documentary processes and you make the withdrawals, you will get distracted by some emerging issues or some emergency, and that documentary process will be silent. And then you pick up the next or transactions. Over time, you are making withdrawals without documentary support. Down the line, auditors will begin to pick up things. Down the line, other people, interested persons like civil society or the others will begin to pick up the trail and know that you are making withdrawals on the accounts without due process. And I can give you immediate example.
Mm-hmm.
In my office, there is a suitcase load of checks with bank releases attached to them. These checks were never disbursed to whoever it was intended for, at least in the official channel, many people going up to pick up their checks,
Mm-hmm.
or the checks were never issued to the bank, were never submitted
But
to
they
the
were
bank,
written.
or they were written. So the question would be, who are the recipients of those checks, or the intended recipients, and why were the check not released? Does it become domestic debt for us, or the withdrawals were already made and the checks were just there for the record? So those are some of the questionable issues that we are trying to avoid. And when we tell them these
Not only
things,
avoiding, but how are you solving the situation? You said suitcase load.
so what we have decided to do, me personally, is I've contacted the accountant auditor, I mean, controller and accountant general,
Mm-hmm.
that I need to do an inventory of those checks and formally turn it over to him, since he's the one responsible for the banking transaction of our processes. Now, in terms of taking the shift from the past, here, you do know my history. I was at the Ministry of Finance, for example, when the IFME system was introduced.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the Ministry of Finance when the Accountant General Department was restructured to have more accountability and so forth. In fact, some of the laws, like the PFM laws, the procurement laws, are participated at the technical level in their development. So I know. And also, we have followed the history over the past. People who have been caught in the web of malpractices, it has always been because they failed to follow proper procedures, either as a result of administrative lapses, or they just deliberately thought they could sidestep the system. So when the system is so complex as we have, the best thing you can do is to just stay on the right path, because you will never know. If you try to sidestep certain procedure, you will never know where you could be booked somewhere down the line.
A bucket procedure you spoke of, is that the reason why allotments or payments are delayed? For example, the ombudsman, the chairman of the ombudsman this morning on 50/50 pointed fingers at the Ministry of Finance for its snail pace at which it disburses allotment or allocations. What do you, is it international best practice that you delayed payment, counter checking all the transactions before you can give go ahead?
Well, that is his perspective, and with all due respect to the ombudsman, he may not know everything about how the financial processes work. There are some payments or some institutions whose payment happen on a timely basis. That is all the prerequisite actions that they need to do. If, for example, you have to do procurement, you have to get all the necessary documentations, contracts, procurement notices, and then no objection from the PPCC. And all of these background activities that you are responsible for. If you do them and they are correct, your payment has no basis of being delayed. And moreover, if you have the funds on your budget line. So the delay in most cases will be where people didn't follow the proper PFM procedures, the prerequisite actions were either not done correctly or were not done at all. And in some cases, or requesting for funds that are not on their lands. So in this case, to respond to your request is going to take time, because these are all background activities that require a whole lot of administrative process.
Okay, even I know you sit in a hot seat, and the reason why I'm saying this is because he said it publicly, and I'll tune in. He said, even with the urgency attached to the disbursement, the urgency attached by the president to the disbursement from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the process is still slow. You're not afraid that the president says see this as a case of, I mean, as an emergency?
Well, again, I don't know where he says the urgency the president attached to disbursement. Is he saying that we must sidetrack? The moment he requests come, we should give him the check, or he had to present all the necessary documentations in order to be processed. Remember, the ombudsman himself can be audited
Mm-hmm.
as well as ourselves. So we are actually trying to help not only ourselves, but even those that we give funds to ensure that they acquire those funds in the proper way. And this is what I always tell people. Today, I'm sitting as acting Minister of Finance. Few weeks ago, it was Mr. Boyma Kamara. Few months back, it was Mr. Samuel Toy. Today, they are not around. So the things that they have done is only the documentary evidence they left that will be used to either exonerate them or to hold them accountable. So I am also responsible to ensure that people that we interact with, we teach them the proper processes to follow. And I would like to, not that I didn't know, but in a recent conversation with the Chief Justice, she made an important point, and I hope everybody else around the country will take note, that the Ministry of Finance is the chief fiscal advisor to the government. All government institutions in 3 branches of government. So it means we have this enormous responsibility to not only expedite payment, but to also ensure that all payments are consistent with the PFM law and its regulations.
So before we transition to the next topic, budget shifting reported budget shifting. May I ask this question? Is rhetorical? So from your explanation, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning is in good state of operation.
Very good state of operation as far as its responsibility for fiscal affairs is concerned.
Okay, fiscal affairs. So let's move on to the budget. I don't know where the news came from, but it's been broken. It was being broken by Spoon. Spoon said they got cogent information that there was a budget alteration, shifting from one point to the other, a budget that is passed and printed into handbill, signed by the president and subsequently printed into handbill, automatically making it a law. You formulated the budget. You stand in the way of executing it. If there are reported news about altering the budget, should be concerned with Ministry of Finance.
It is a concern to us. In fact, this morning I made a brief distant appearance by phone on the state radio ELBC, and made it clear, and I will repeat here again, as I have stated in other private and informal forums, that to the best of our knowledge, to all of the technical information available to us, there was no shifting in the budget. Now, the challenge is out there, and I will repeat it on this forum as well. Firstly, Spoon, we don't know what the source. Cogent information is not a source, and a respectable media institution must be bold enough to confront those whom it accuses with the source of their accusation. That is just a legal maxim. Even though they will say they are not a court.
They display documents, Chief. Those documents are not genuine. They're fake. Is that what you say?
The document on a budget that the nation goes by is a document produced by the Ministry of Finance, which is supported by the act of the legislature. Now, I know the issue is, and I don't want to delve too much into it, because we have also said we are willing to be cited, if by the legislature or any other appropriate forum, to make the clarification. So in some cases, we'll be very careful not to prejudice the discussion that we may be having. But what we can say is executing a budget is the responsibility of the Ministry of Finance. The budget is structured by sectors, and sectors consist of ministries and agencies and commissions. So if, for example, the sector that you operate in is representing the budget through the Ministry of Information. So if the Ministry of Information, for example, have allocations for media outreach, which will affect all of you, it will go in a sector that Ministry of Information belongs to. We will not put it in a sector that, say, police belongs to. Even, for example, there's a line called media intelligence, right? When someone hears the line media intelligence, he thinks, oh, it should be security in nature. but they have a lot of form of intelligence. They get business intelligence, economic intelligence, media intelligence, and health intelligence, and so on and so forth. So because of the need intelligence, you won't put that land to security. So we responsible for executing the budget, we execute it along those structural lines through sectors, through ministries, agencies, and commissions that belong to those sectors.
So you just said there's no budget shifting, and in fact, avail yourself for summoning by the legislature, lack of better voice, um, to go and further clarify it, clarify. But here is it. Can we safely say needless for the legislature to conduct any investigation? Now that you who executing it said there was no shifting, because I'm saying this because I'm seeing all major delays that the speaker has requested a probe into the reported news of budget shifting. Needless to go into the investigation. Now that you said it's not happening.
Even though dailies themselves are not doing themselves justice as media institutions, because the Ministry of Finance is just described as one of the biggest buildings in Monrovia town. Right. People know my face all over the place. The budget minister is one of the longest serving officials in government. So who doesn't know any of us as a media institution? Our media director is your colleague in the media. She has almost 20 years of experience. Have anybody ever reached out to her? But national issues like the budget, they are sensitive. They trigger economic issues. Remember, initially I was telling you about how the Ministry of Finance is more like the weather balloon for key economic actors.
Any side blows,
Fine.
That's the side the country is moving.
Even the media, when business activity plummets because of bad signs from the Ministry of Finance. Remember, the Ministry of Finance processes a lot of contracts for different economic actors. People will begin to reduce our economic activity, so advertising and promos on media institutions will also drop. So it's always good to do your investigation. This is an issue that calls for investigation. It's not one of those public events that will say mob violence or accident or some street action, and you just pick it up and broadcast it. This is something about information that is not, it may be publicly available, like the budget be on the website also, but it's not everybody who can see it or read it. So when you gather such information or you get a hint, the best thing is to first get a baseline information, meaning what are the issues under discussion before you blow it up into headlines and so forth.
Okay, so the local people say don't brush the road one-sided, right?
Yeah, in short,
I'm saying if the media fail to reach out to you and the speculations are high in the public, why do you wait for a contact? Come on.
So that is why this morning, like I said, we made contact with ELBC, and here we are saying to you, because in order to respond to the issue more logically, we should know where it is coming from. If it is coming from a legislator, for example, then we can speak to it on the basis of to what extent we and the legislature know certain information about the budget. If it is from another ministry or agency, we can speak to it on the basis of why we think that minister or that official of the ministry or agency is speaking in that direction. But as it is, it's just more or less or a floating information.
Okay.
People are citing cogent sources. Now, cogency of a source depends on, firstly, the source itself. Whether the authority of the source, the credibility of the source, you have to know excessively before you can describe it as cogent.
Okay, so since we're still under budget, it's good that the Ministry of Finance, and this is going to be a breaking news. I don't know about various news departments, but I want to believe this news department is going to pick it up. That contrary to widespread media reports about a budget shifting of over 19 or maybe 20 million, the Minister of Finance Development Planning has clarified that there is no budget shifting and the budget is as it is.
Yeah, 738.8 million it remains to date.
Okay, so then why then we hearing again about recast?
Very good. So the budget, remember I quoted 738.8, right?
Yeah.
Because that is what was approved.
Mhm.
So as per the law, it remains what it is. But we also are the one who manage the budget. And we manage the budget on the basis of the performance of the economy.
Mhm.
Remember, the base for raising revenue is the economic performance. So for the first 6 months of the budget, we realized that certain key lines in the budget were seriously underperforming. And those,
For example,
the public sector revenue sources,
okay.
meaning revenue provided by government ministries, agencies, and corporations,
Mhm.
they are performing by double digits of millions. So for the first,
Which is not encouraging.
which is not encouraging. So when we do the trend analysis for the 6 months, and then we did a projection given the monthly trend, when we prorate it on a monthly basis for the from July to December, we notice that if we continue at the current trend, we will have a budget shortfall. Now, before it becomes a budget shortfall, we need to correct it. Meaning you will need to realign. First, revise the revenue estimate, then you correspondingly revise the expenditure forecast so that you have a balanced budget, which is by law, according to the PFN law, the type of budget we should operate. So the recast is intended to respond to all of these.
So this could be a preemptive action,
Well,
not to derive at a
a
shortfall.
shortfall. So in other words, rather than having a shortfall, you go and seek legislative approval to rebalance the budget. Because as it is now, it will be out of balance if expenditure forecast remain higher than what will be the actual revenue. So in order to rebalance the budget, there are two options. One is you either bring the expenditure down to match the expected end of year revenue, or you take measures to increase the revenue and fill the gap created by the underperformance. So these are the two options that we will hope to place before the legislature.
Let's do some reconciliation, your chief. Public sector underperforming in revenue generation. The Commissioner General of the LRA is on record to have told the legislature that revenue generation is on course. Where are we?
I can tell you this information is the reconciled facts agreed by the two authorities. So when they
unless you do this one,
I mean the fact that we anticipate a shortfall in certain key revenue lines, when the CG of the LRA spoke some 2 months ago, that was 2 months ago.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm speaking about information now as at the end of June.
Okay.
That was worked on by analysts from the MFDP, Revenue and Tax Policy Division, and the LRA analysts.
Okay, you're tuning into State of the Nation on Truth FM 96.1. We on air and online, 96.1 and Real TV. It's also being relayed in Nimba County of Truth 96.9 in Saclay, PA, our sister radio station, and another one in Bar Nimba County, almost in the same vicinity. I don't know why, because their son is on, so they spread it. They spread the news all over through the electronic media that they have available to them on that side of the country. So let's come to before we move to the audit itself, let's come to open budget. You know, as a head of news some times ago at RCR on Ashmore Street, the first time, that time the internet was not too effective. The first time I ever lay hands, lay hands on physical budget, the hard copy. The Minister of Finance then, Augustine Gaffron, walked into our newsroom as part of his open budget initiative, presented us a voluminous document, and he said this is the budget, the draft budget, and if when it was passed, he brought past a version. Um, Amara Connect came on and opened a giant size electronic billboard in the compound of the finance ministry. I remember President Sellee commissioned it. Was those? I mean, were those initiative waste of time? All the availability of the internet has undermined those initiatives, especially the giant size billboard in your compound is dead for good.
You are right. Communication, whether like mass media like yours or public relations or public information, need to evolve with the time. At the time that you mentioned when Minister Gaffwan brought the budget copy to you, yeah, you are right. Everything was more like manual. We used to distribute budget copies among media institutions, university, high school, county administrations, county education offices around the country. So now we print up to 10,000 copies of the budget, or they have a small citizen guide to the budget. So what happened then was the shift towards the electronic billboard that you are referring to. We have one outside there was one in the lobby of the ministry. And then we will go from county to county with the open budget initiative. But from up to 2018, January, that billboard was working. And after that, it went into disuse. And today, like you said, it's completely broken down.
No, maybe you don't want to.
I'm coming.
Maybe you try to be diplomatic.
I'm trying to.
Up to 2018, it was in use.
It wasn't used.
When the new government took over 2018, it went into
disuse. And now it's completely dilapidated. But there's hope around the horizon, right? Because I was speaking with the Deputy Minister for Budget last night, and she said some of our international partners who are interested in transparency, they are accepted suggestions and proposals to reactivate the billboard. Now, with the open budget initiative, like you mentioned, the draft budget, according to the law, the draft budget should be shared with the citizens, and then the approved budget should also be shared with the citizens. So this year, we didn't have the time, not that we never had a thought. We didn't have the time to share the draft budget. Remember, we tabled the draft budget officially in April. And so our whole focus was on working with the legislature to pass our budget in a very short period of time. But however, we met one of the critical benchmarks, which is putting it on our website. That is our some budget transparency initiative or website, or OGP, Open Government Initiative requirement. We did those. But what we haven't done is to actually go out and do an outreach on it. We were trying to do that sometime in June, when we realized between June and July, we actually raised the allotment as well. When we realized that we will soon be recasting the budget, the numbers might change. So we rather hold on to that process. When the recast budget is approved, then we'll still do the open budget initiative. People will still go out into the counties, communities, and radio stations and campuses to do the outreach. So that is still on the card for this year.
Okay. Open budget initiative is on it, and it's good that you want to resuscitate the billboard. And okay, so let's come down now to audit. I don't know how devastating the report. I don't know. I'm not an accountant. I'm so entirely liberal arts student, right? But the audit report, if you can read through the lines, a senior economist told me that these kind of audit report, it takes a strong economy to resuscitate with this kind of a nasty report coming from government agencies where, for example, NAFA, Central Bank, LTA. I don't know. Is there a shock in the period between where these monies were spent out of transaction, and then your moment of trying to tie the knot so that the economy can balance itself.
Okay, if you can recall some of our engagements when we were not in government, we noted that there were always issues,
Yeah,
hidden
you said
issues.
it on this
Yeah,
very
hidden
platform. Yeah.
issues that many people are not paying attention to. NAFA, for example, there were a lot of flowery commentaries about NAFA around the country. Oh, the NAFA is doing well, NAFA is doing that. But some of us reading was, is it? It's just one side of it. But there's another side that we are not or getting at. And that side now is what the audit is bringing out. And it's not only NAFA, we also know about the central bank.
Yeah.
The GSE conducted almost 6 different forms of audits and inquiries into the central bank. Already the actions are happening there. You know that it was very bad of. But what it means is if we still have the same economic management system or processes in place, or if we still had the same economic management structure, then this audit report will be of, I don't want to minimize the input of it, the importance. They are very damaging, they are very devastating. It means a lot was lost, resources that were being better deployed elsewhere. But in terms of being able to give some form of confidence and reliability, the fact now that we have a different management structure in place, both at the political level and at the fiscal and monetary level, we can say, well, there is now a determination, firstly, to pursue the report and whatever required judicial actions to pursue it to the letter. In fact, it's already happening. You know about the story. People being bailed in and out of court, and people absconding and here and there. And also that we now who are in charge of whether it's the economic management regime as a whole or the fiscal management regime, specifically that the Ministry of Finance, it means that we have, again, when I said from the beginning, a responsibility to shift away from those things that led to the kind of things that we are hearing in the report and that we are reading about. So this also gave confidence to all of our partners, whether it is a business community, whether it is the legislature, whether it is our development partners, the fact that a new team is around that is willing to embrace audit. In fact, as we speak, the GSC has commenced the process of auditing the Ministry of Finance.
I was just about to ask you that.
We have commenced. We ourselves called for that. It was not one of those audits that the GSC can schedule on a yearly basis. We call for it. And the reason why we call for it, so that we will have a template against which we can judge our own actions from February 7 onward to say, oh, this happened in this department. We need to do this differently. So that even in terms of restructuring our processes, you mentioned earlier about our processes, probably the protracted nature of transaction could be deliberate. So we find ways and means of correcting those things. In fact, it will also help, more importantly, because the Ministry of Finance, like every other entity, is participating in the nationwide consultation for the new development strategy. So we have also drafted our own strategic plans. The outcome of the audit that the GSC have commenced will also help us, whether it's in administration, it's in budget, it's in fiscal affairs, it's in the economic management where debt services are located, or in the controller department where treasury services and banking transactions are processed. The audit report that the GSC will give us will help all of us to say, well, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, this is what has been discovered about our institution. What can we do differently so that the next round of audit will be better?
Okay. So, in 1 minute, Chief, before we open the lines, tell us civil servants' salary payment. What's the status of it? Current or not current, or there are glitches or no glitches at all. And where are we?
Okay. Before July 26, 95+% of salaries were paid. And the reason why is not 100% because working with the CSA, we have reintroduced a process that was abandoned some time ago. And I can explain it. Anybody who has worked in HR for government institution, you will know this. We just completed payment for July about a week or two ago. So the outturn, what we call the payroll outturn, meaning the list of all those who took pay, we send that list back to the ministries. We call that a dummy payroll. We, at the Ministry of Finance, will assume that that is the baseline for your salary, meaning that is the amount that you need for August. So the ministries and agencies will go through the dummy payroll. They will either confirm that yes, Ministry A total wage bill for July was say 300,000 for say 500 employees. This is okay. They will sign off on it and send it to the CSA, and then the CSA send it to us. This process has been the normal practice before, but it was abandoned, where salary were paid almost by guesswork, by who knows whom or who wants to do what.
So when you guys left from finance, did they leave template?
It
was there and then ignored.
All along. The CSA, before then, CSA was not actively involved in the monthly payroll. CSA only used to approve payroll at the beginning of the year. But over time, somewhere around between 2010 and 2016 or thereabout, we began the process where on a monthly basis, the CSA must vet each ministry's payroll to say, yes, we have reviewed the payroll submitted from Ministry A to us. Finance Ministry, you can go ahead and pay. Because what? We are not the authority on recruitment and pay and grade. It is a CSA. Now, we are not the one that these people work for, though we have our own staff, but the staff of Ministry A are the responsibility of that ministry. So they must clear the payroll and send it to CSA. Then CSA attests and say, yes, we can attest that this ministry payroll for the coming month is at this magnitude and of this number. Go ahead and pay. So now these processes, remember, one of the early decisions taken by the former minister and the CAG was that payroll should return to his office by the 10th of the month.
Which are the former now?
The former minister,
Where?
No, Kamara.
Kamara, okay.
But so this is a practice that people are now used to. So it's a catching up process. The fact that we completed 95% plus before July was an improvement from the previous month. So we are hoping that as time goes by, and everybody will have caught up with the practice and will be on time. Remember also the new policy about controller in different ministries and agencies being employees of the controller general. It is in this year that we are effecting that process. So most controllers are also new to the processes. So it will take time. It's more like a catching up issue. So hopefully,
you want to say that again?
You mean the information about
this one? The controllers at various agencies.
The amended PFN Act of 2019 states that controllers of government ministries, agencies, and commissions work under the supervision of the Controller and Accountant General. In fact, as we speak, their employment status have been changed from the various ministries and agencies to be employees of the MFDP, working under the supervision of the CAG, and their salaries have been correspondingly transferred from their ministry to the ministry.
I don't know why we decided to wait, so long for that. The reason why I'm saying, if Minister X is appointed in this place, this minister wants to carry his own controller.
We have stopped that.
You stop it already, right? Okay, so the lines are open now. 0777 28 59 61, 0777 28 59 61, or 077 5144278. My colleague Magdalene Saah, who is fresh from Bangabong County, we take the calls, and because of time factor, 1 minute per caller. Ask all the necessary questions that you were asking under my post when I posted this morning, announcing the arrival of the minister. 077 0777 28 59 61. Let's take this caller. Hello? Yes, 1 minute. Leave all the pleasantries. Just go straight into it.
I'm going to get today's mention of this issue of recast budget. So I get to asking this question. I don't know why we have to the finance department relation and use it to allocate budget. So can the minister make it very explicit to the public all of the aspects are used to do budget allocation so as to do away with the issue of recasting budget?
Okay, thank you very much. She's taking notes. You will address them one by one. Another one.
So known to Magdalene and Chris and to the Honorable Minister.
Yes, sir.
So, Honorable Minister, my name is Half PK. For a short period of time you have taken over, you asked that you do the audit on the ministry. If you are caught in the work, in the Pakistan, will you resign? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next one.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Mogo Kokori from Israel on TV. I work for this. And people, before the CSA was doing certificate called verification. So I want to know that some people had a TSC and they are not taking a TSC. Could be upgraded to their TSC salary? Because some of them they have TSC, but it's taking certificate.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Chris, how are you doing? This is Jesus. I'm joining from Central Town.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let me appreciate the minister so much. But I want to ask the minister, we'll talk about audit and people will be accountable for what they did. I think it is right on this government, President Boyka is doing. Because yesterday it only happened, so I think it's valuable and we appreciate it so much. But I want to ask this question. All of the audit that are going on, if you are caught, God forbid, if you are caught, you're willing to step aside with the event that you go through, you will not do the other people that are sleeping. Thank you. That's my question.
Okay, let's take more. There are too many people online.
Hello.
Yeah, so how are you doing?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is Saturday, and I'm going to go to Bishop. He's really administrative. So I want to say thank you, but I got two questions. The first one has to do with as to whether your utility part you also set the ministry based on the law. I mean, I want to ask whether yes, whether there were issues, and as to whether there also be some issues. And secondly, this issue in the news talking about budget applications. I don't know as to whether you have the time to speak about it. We hear about 20 million and the offer to the budget grant. I mean, can you just speak to that? But I want to say thank you for being so appreciative rather than political. I want to appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know when you joined, but he made some clarification on that. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, just go on. Yeah, less than a minute.
Okay, I'm on the line.
Yes, you are on.
Hello, I'm James. Yeah, calling from Marulia. I want to find out something for the minister. See, we're over hearing all kinds of things going on. I want to do you have money for those kind of issues?
Which all kinds of things? You gotta be specific.
I can't play now. Because what we have in here is that the government gets to us every month to talk about retirement of public and officials. Whether they have money to pay people, any because the government gets to us every month, we thought that the government is going all the way to 6 years. I thought
1 year or 2 years they want to do this thing, where they have money to pay people, that's what I'm asking.
Okay, thank you. Enough of that. So the minister took note and he's about addressing your concerns one by one. We got in the next 5 minutes we're supposed to be signing off. Yes, Minister, let's hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I will thank the callers for their questions, and it also indicates that they were paying attention. So let's go back to the issue of the recast budget. And somebody asked, what are the criteria for allocation so as to avoid recast? The criteria is more or less, there's an objective part and there's a subjective part. The objective part is where we ensure that what we assign to ministry agencies and commission as their expenditure is reflective of the realistic estimate of our revenue. And this estimate of the revenue is based on economic performance. Businesses and other economic activities that give us revenue, they are not controlled by the government. So when you are estimating tax revenue, make sure it's based on what estimate business people have made to be their activities for the year and the taxable component of their income. But the subjective part is the key policy makers in the executive and the legislature need to also be realistic. We need to be guided by history. We have successive budget shortfalls. It's better to underestimate the revenue expenditure and have a surplus that you can do, or how do you call it, supplemental budget, than to have an inflated revenue envelope that does not perform like what we are having now. The issue of audit and whether I will resign or not, well, we don't know what the audit will present. And as far as I know, I have no skeleton in my closet. But again, when audits are done, it's not only about your person or your own activities, so that the audit is on the performance of the institution to the extent where the audit establishes that I might have been derelict or I might have been administratively or negligent. The president or the auditor will make recommendations, or the auditor will make recommendations to the president as to what needs to be done to those of us who are in management or not. And whatever is the outcome, we will abide by that. The issue of pay and grade, many people with higher qualifications making less salary. This thing is mostly the result of direct replacement. Christopher Sellee is sitting at Truth FM as a senior manager. He has certain qualification and experience in the media landscape. Then, for example, you bring somebody who is at the level of, say, or one of the veterans in the media community. Any of the veterans, maybe we say, or Joseph Batois, or Kwame Clement, or Cyrus Badio. Those people need to command higher salary, but because these people, they are desperately in need of a job, or somebody want them to be, there is no room now for Truth FM to increase salary for this position. You replace somebody who have a higher qualification experience, you take Chris out and put that person in the place. So in that case, a person will be making less than their pay and grade. That is the issue that permeates the civil service. And it will take time for us to rectify that. The third issue about stepping aside, okay, that's the same question. Former officials' performance, how do I grade them? Generally, the issue of the person's performance, the bad ones are out there for the public to judge. All the other reports and other economic reports will make that case. But in terms of what each of them have done, let me say a few. Gafwan, for example, took us through HIPIC and earned us $5 billion debt waiver. He introduced IFMIS, which decentralized the PFM process. The Ministry of Finance, they didn't have to do everything. Ministries and agencies can raise their own voucher and allotment. He brought in, under him, the PFM law was first passed in 2009. Admiral Kone restructured the ministry to the extent that it is in a position to be not only the coordinating arm for fiscal affairs, but also the coordinating ministry for development planning. That's a plus. Bama Kamara was keen on debt servicing, ensuring that our debt services were in order so that we gain the respect of financial institutions domestically and externally. D12, with all the issues surrounding it, he restated and amended the PFN law so that fiscal decentralization will be possible. Until then, superintendents could not administer their own finances because the PFN law restricted them from doing so. So if you look across, there is nobody who is 100% bad or 100% good.
Yeah.
So that is where I can leave that. With respect to the retirement of civil servants, well, this is entirely a CSA matter. We look to CSA for the technical information, and they will also give us the budget impact analysis, because when you retire people, firstly, you got to pay them off. Then secondly, you have to enroll them on the pension payroll. So we will want to listen to them, the total amount of people involved, and the fiscal impact analysis going forward. So we have to do a cost benefit analysis. Whether retaining them on the payroll now it may be cheaper in that you don't have to pay more, but public sector productivity, meaning how effective will government be when they stay on, or how efficient will the expenditure side be when you relinquish them, and so on and so forth.
Okay, thank you very much. Quickly before we sign off, when are we supposed to submit? Let me say, are we? when you people supposed to submit the new budget? Of course, we got. Wait, laughing for me. January, suppose I'm told by October you're supposed to submit a new budget. Am I correct?
Yes, you are
A
correct.
draft budget.
You are correct. In fact, you must have followed the news and other information around the country that we are actively engaged in the consultations at the national and subnational level for the new development strategy that will succeed the PAPD, and that strategy is the arrest agenda for inclusive development.
Okay.
So that consultation also doubles as the sectoral consultation for the new budget, meaning priorities that will form part of the 2025 budget are also being identified, while people are also identifying the 5-year priorities going into 2029. So that will then form the basis for the budget preparation. Yes, you are right, we are on target. We intend to submit a budget in October so that the legislature will have at least 2 months to deliberate. So,
now that it is clear that we will have a recast budget, what you want to call the legislature back?
Well, we have an understanding with the legislature, which means that we remain engaged with them even though they are on break. As soon as we have the budget ready, they will resume their session to debate on the budget. For this reason, we have done a lot of pre-engagement meetings with them. We have shared with them all the key information in terms of the assumptions for the recast, in terms of the reverse estimate for revenue expenditure, so that it will not be new information to them when we submit.
Okay, take away no budget shifting as reported in the media, and the Ministry of Finance Development Planning has subjected itself to a comprehensive audit by the General Auditing Commission. Acting Minister for Finance and Development Planning, Anthony Myers, have been with us on State of the Nation on today. Today is what, August 12th?
Yes,
August 12th. You know, today marks me exactly 4 years since I took on this consultancy. And we've come of age. It is good. What a coincidence. Thank you so much for coming, Chief. Okay, Anthony Myers, Acting Minister of Finance, have been on State of the Nation. Maggie, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we discuss agriculture lengthily. Maybe Dr. Musa Bede in his new foreign land, that is Iba County, where he's also engaging in agriculture. See you on tomorrow. This is how we end. Of course, Lucille Richard was on camera and brought live feed to you from studio.